Tech. Muted on Real Tech.
It's over.
Hello, welcome to Screen Source, Color Circuit's premiere show for film and television news reviews, and then we watch some trailers. Fucking spicy trailers today. Sorry,
Ooh.
I didn't mean to
So
curse so quickly.
excited, guys.
Big.
Right into that
Whoa.
spice.
But the spiciness
Sorry,
is
kids.
so hot this
Censored.
week. I am so excited. Like almost every trailer, I'm like so super stoked about. And a lot of really cool news.
It's gonna be a good show,
But
guys.
before we get into any of the actually, no, yeah, let me give you a sneak peek of some of the news that we're going to talk about today. Next slide, Mr. Ryan Kaminski, our producer. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Super Mario Brothers movie today. The Coco film, Disney's new Pixar film that comes out this Wednesday. They're doing Wednesday drops for this week because of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And also, big week for Disney yet again, teaser trailer for The Incredibles 2, amongst many, many other things, some of which reside on table decoration stuff. So before we get into any of that, let's talk about some of the ways that we're revamping the show, I guess is a word that we could use.
We had a meeting.
We had a meeting. It was a fruitful one at that. One of which is the continuation, but establishment of Hot Take. Jason, what is a hot take?
So at any point during the show, if you are feeling like you've got a particularly strong take,
Sure.
aka a hot take,
Controversial, maybe.
on any of the topics that we are talking about, you can grab one of our pair of slick red sunglasses, at which point I believe we'll cut to, a two-shot.
Yeah.
If we can cut to a two-shot, and then we can do a hot take about the topic that you're hot taking.
All right.
And that's it.
Taking
That's pretty
hot.
much it.
And the other game that we're kind of playing throughout the day is Hot Potato. So tell us a little about Hot Potato, Scott.
All right, so this is not an actual potato. Keen eyes might be saying to yourself, yes. But if anyone during the show says something insightful, funny, again, something, I didn't see it that way, this is a movable thing. So Dylan might have it for a while, Jason, Jessica, myself. Whoever ends up with this hot potato by the end of the show will be giving a hot potato acceptance speech, like an award, because you were the last one with the hot potato.
Yes.
Hot potato, hot potato.
I like this. I'm excited. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Could be awful. Could be the best thing in the world. Hit us up, HBO.
It's going to be the best thing.
Best
The
thing in
best
world.
thing in
It's
the
gonna be
world.
great.
Yes. Why would I naysay?
I love potatoes.
Potatoes are the best thing in the world.
They are. And we should eventually get a real
An
potato.
actual potato.
Right.
Or a
Hot
stuffed,
take.
or
For
a
a-
stuffed
Shit, we already got
potato
our first hot take of the day.
Potatoes are the best thing in the world.
in any form.
In any form. Fry them up, bake them, put them in a pie. You're going to love potatoes.
If you think that's going to win you the hot potato right now, it's not going to win that.
It has not moved yet. If you see the potato, it is not. It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is in a neutral.
Neutral
Can you
potato.
award yourself a potato? Or the hot potato?
Ooh, that is a good question.
I'm going to say no.
I think you have to be wearing the hot take glasses if you do that. That's a combined move. 'Cause that is a hot take if you
I'm gonna
award
take the
yourself the
potato
hot potato.
Hot take potato take.
Hot take.
We're already. Welcome to our meeting, where this is actually more of a.
I'm awarding myself the hot potato.
Guys, let's stop
That's the
stop
take.
messing around and get to the show.
All right, so
we're
our
already.
first topic of the day is Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. That was the big news, actually. The title in itself. It is the first time we're hearing the actual title. You can go just.
We're going to
playing
be
with the
very
potato, Jason.
covetous
Leave the
of this
potato
damn
alone.
potato. This might be the last episode.
And if any of you have seen Silicon Valley, this was an amazing gift from Mr. Scott on my birthday. Thank you so much.
Always blue.
Always blue. Always blue.
But yellow right
Please
now.
watch that show. Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. So, do any of you know who Grindelwald is?
Yes.
Yes.
I've heard the name amongst millions of characters in the Harry Potter realm.
Did you watch Fantastic Beasts, the first one?
I did.
Yes.
He is
Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Did you read the books? Did anybody read?
I've read all the books and I read Fantastic Beasts.
Okay.
Yes. And in
read
Fantastic
some.
Beasts, from what I can remember, he's not mentioned, I don't think. But he is in the very first book, I believe. So You sound like you know a
You're
little bit
more
more
of an expert.
I mean, I
on
don't
this?
remember. Our resident Harry Potter expert is absent
That's
today
true. That's
because
true.
he's doing family things.
Oh.
Before Thanksgiving.
No wonder why he
weird.
likes Harry
Yeah.
Potter so much. I mean, gosh.
Exactly. He's a real Ron Weasley
I
type.
know,
you
right?
know, always with his family.
Homemade sweaters and shit. Nah.
But yeah, I mean, Grindelwald shows up in the books, he doesn't show up in the books, but he's referenced in the
Talked
books.
about, yes. So Grindelwald, from what I can remember, he is the most powerful wizard, at least a dark wizard, second only to Snape. No,
Voldemort.
Voldemort. Sorry,
Voldemort.
Voldemort.
He who should not be.
He who should not be named. Grindelwald came up with and met Albus Dumbledore, and they actually kind of had a loving relationship, more so than friendship.
Dumbledore
Romantic
was in love with Grindelwald.
Okay.
I don't know if the feelings were returned, but it allowed Grindelwald to sort of manipulate him and allowed Dumbledore to kind of let some of the warning signs fly by.
Yes.
So did this come out? Because after the main 7 books were out, J.K. Rowling came out in the public and said, Dumbledore's gay.
Yeah.
We didn't really need this information, but she was like, hey, you remember Dumbledore? He's gay.
Yeah.
So is this kind of part of that lore that she threw out there so they're kind of shoehorning this in, or is this like a natural?
Yeah, no, it's all in the books. It's all
Okay.
a part of the Harry Potter history.
Yes.
Okay.
And so eventually what came of it is that Dumbledore, that Grindelwald is kind of trying to take over the world, make humans slaves, if you will.
Lack of a better term.
So Dumbledore fights Grindelwald, and Dumbledore's brother's also there. So
Tim.
I don't Bob
Timbledore.
Timbledore.
Bob Timbledore.
I know the books very well.
What's his name?
They get into kind of a 3-way fight. Well, I think Dumbledore has 3 or 4 siblings. So they get in kind of a 3-way fight, and somehow the sister actually dies, Dumbledore's sister.
Okay.
And he ends up winning. Grindelwald does. Dumbledore gets him later on. Grindelwald ends up in prison. And not Snape. I keep saying Snape. Voldemort eventually kills Grindelwald because he's trying to get information out of him, and Grindelwald won't give him any. About the Elder Wand, yes,
Okay.
which is a very powerful.
So is this roughly the plot of what this movie's going to be?
I have no clue.
Okay.
Yes.
All we know is the name Grindelwald showed up, and
But this is the
it's
story behind him. at
Sure.
least.
And Johnny Depp was kind of teased at the end of the last movie,
Right.
like, oh my God, it was Johnny Depp.
Yes.
Or he's that character.
people were wondering for a while what the Fantastic Beasts series were going to be about, because it's been a while, but I thought I had read somewhere that they might be doing like 5 to 7 movies or something under the like Fantastic Beasts.
Okay.
I might be
remembering
wrong about this.
trilogy,
It might be a
but
trilogy,
yeah.
but I thought that they had even extended it from the trilogy because they're trying to milk the Harry Potter world and they
Sure.
can't use the Harry Potter movies
Yeah.
anymore.
They made the definitive book movies.
Right.
Like they've done that already.
They're
so.
using the one other book that was written that's in the canon, the Fantastic Beasts book, that has nothing to do with any of this. But they're just using it as the starting point to get into the previous history.
Yeah, to get
you
into The
went
Hobbit to the Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Which we will be talking about soon.
Yeah.
Is that Zoe Kravitz in the picture?
Yes.
I can't tell. It is. God, I love her. I'm excited.
Is that Jude Law on the far left?
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
He's
He's
Youngledore.
Oh my God, I forgot. Yumbledore.
Youngledore.
Youngledore.
So this is
That
a little
velvet
bit like
coat.
people I think felt really weird because Johnny Depp was going through a lot of controversial stuff recently.
Look, he's the young pope. Oh, wait, sorry. I was thinking of Jude Law. Johnny Depp is,
Well, Jude Law slept with the nanny, right? So, I mean, that's
Did
not
he?
bad. She consented, I'm imagining.
Okay.
Yeah, we're okay with
mean-
consent.
Who wouldn't consent
I
with,
love
uh,
consent. Consent's the best.
Jude Law.
You heard it here first. Scott loves consent.
consent's the best.
What a
So,
shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, since the other big issue or the main issue in Hollywood and the world right now is allegations and possible rape and molestation and everything. Johnny Depp allegedly, I guess it's still allegedly,
beat his
wife. Yeah.
And
there
there's
are photos
and
there-
audio.
Yeah.
And yes.
And it was not funny, but like months and months ago, Johnny Depp popped in at Disneyland as Captain Jack Sparrow, and he has done this previously, and he jumps on Pirates of the Caribbean, and he's just there. He takes place in the animatronic,
It's amazing.
and it's cool. But as I was watching this, like, yeah, but you beat your wife, like, like that's like
Not cool.
Let-
You're
let-
not cool
let-
anymore.
let's not shine over that, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And he was seldom in the trailers for the most recent Pirates movie, and we think that was probably pretty purposeful.
yeah.
So he's been kind of under the radar, I feel, a little
Right.
bit.
Yeah.
But this is going to be maybe a bigger comeback. Well, he was also in the most recent Pirates, so I just don't know how much.
Yeah. And I mean, and hopefully this kind of culture of calling people on their shit will not go away, because it shouldn't go away.
Right.
And we need to embrace everyone being able to come forward. So I don't know, like, if this will maybe hurt the movie in some respect.
I think it's a
don't
very
know.
ballsy choice to throw him in a movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think
honestly.
that they had committed before a lot of
Right,
this stuff
right.
had come out.
They could. Yeah.
And-
But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
so I don't think it was them like
Sure.
overlooking it. I
Sure.
think that he had been cast and he was a secret casting, and Johnny Depp is definitely on the downside of his career now.
Sure.
And outside of all the accusations, people are just kind of bored with his shtick.
Sure.
As well, like, oh look, it's another Johnny Depp character where he's wearing a hat and he's got a funny
And he's
haircut,
eccentric,
and he's
yeah.
eccentric, and he's like, it's just
As
We'll
lo-
see.
yeah.
he's just been doing it for 25 years probably,
And at least he's
and-
not making every Tim Burton movie now. Like, that's
Right.
kind of died. Like, I'm glad that their collaboration is not, because that's just.
Was he a famous young
boring.
child actor?
He was.
He was, right?
He was in the first Nightmare Before Elm Street. Wait,
Nightmare,
Nightmare
on Elm
What's
Street.
eating Gilbert
it was
Grape?
a prequel. Before Elm Street, there was still Nightmares. Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. He was in that one.
Okay.
I mean, he was hung out with like all of those Brat Pack
Yeah, he probably
Guys.
did some TV stuff, and
He's
yes, he was a young actor. Yeah,
young, handsome.
He did
Yeah,
Edward
heartthrob
Scissorhands
in
when he
that.
was pretty young, I think.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. Honestly, I like the first movie. The first movie got really good score recently. I'm sorry, not recently, but I checked recently. I think it was in the 90s. I know
I
some
wouldn't have
people that
given
had
it that.
problems with it.
A lot of people.
I thought
had
it was
problems
fun.
I thought
I
it was
generally
fun,
did.
but I
I
would
thought it
not
was
have
fun.
given it
Yeah.
90s.
I mean,
would have
I-
given it 80s probably.
Yeah, I kind of agreed with everybody else. I was just thinking like the plot was a little thin. I think
Yeah.
that they were obviously setting it up for this movie and subsequent movies so that they could get more into back to the Harry Potter world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did like
what's his
learning
name? Like the main character is kind of like, I forget that he's even.
He's a charming British, non-talkative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes me think all British people are like that. Just like, have something more to you, man.
Yes.
And his name is Newt. I mean, that's
Newt
kind of like...
Scamander. I
Scamander.
like that. I like Newt Scamander as a name.
And honestly, I thought sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Newt Scamander.
It's a cool name.
It's a good name. I liked Dan Fogler a lot, the guy who was, and I don't typically like that actor, but I thought he did a good job.
Yeah,
in this movie.
he was really good.
And
He was funny.
and Newt's kind of love interesty kind of girl. She was great. It was all a good time. The book the book is not thick with plot either. It's plotless actually.
Isn't
It's
it like
just-
a textbook?
It's more like a diction. Yeah, more like an encyclopedia for the.
because it's a
Fantastic Beasts.
textbook they used in Hogwarts, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember being referred to, and then it was like hey, you can own it now in the real world. So there was a novelty.
But
to
it's
that.
fun about it at the front of the book though is you learn a little bit about the history of why this book exists and beasts in general, and so
Yeah.
that's like the only thing that's even plotty at all.
Yeah.
But I actually have high expectations for the second one. I think it'll be just as fun. I like this adult's take on Harry Potter, on the Harry Potter world.
Yeah. No kids in the. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
Ready to move on?
Let's move on.
All right.
Are we no longer?
Oh yeah, I think we are streaming. I think it's just sometimes it runs into problems. But you want to take this next one?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Mamma Mia! The studio behind Minions might make a Super Mario Brothers movie.
Boom.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So that's all we know. Like
Yes.
it's, they are talking about it. It is in the works. Anything can be better than the mid '90s debacle that
Wrong.
was the original.
Wrong.
Wow. Okay.
Ooh. Somebody have a
Would
hot
somebody
take?
like to put some sunglasses on?
Time for a hot
Because I don't
take,
think my
Jason.
opinion is much of a hot take on this one.
John Leguizamo as Luigi
Even that sentence.
is perfect casting.
That's
I'm
it.
going to give you the potato,
You
sir.
get the potato.
Wow, that was bold.
I do love me some
Quite
John
bold.
Leguizamo, though. I gotta say.
That was kind of a moment in time in the 90s because, like, what was the bad guy who played Koopa? He was the bad guy.
Or
Yeah, Bowser. Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. It's what's his name from Easy Rider.
Easy Rider and Speed. He was the
Yeah.
bad guy in Speed.
Dennis
Hopper.
Hopper.
Yeah.
And who's the main character? Who's the guy?
Bob Hoskins
Bob
played
Hoskins.
Mario.
It's a good cast.
I mean, not bad people, but
Terrible
the
movie.
whole idea, the whole way they went about it, it didn't look like the video game at all. At least if it looks, I mean, the Minions people are making it. It's going to look like this.
Right.
What we know is Mario. That's at least a better start than what they had previously.
Well, I think what was happening for that original movie was that Mario had not yet sunken into the like cultural zeitgeist,
Or video games in general, because
Yeah.
this was like a
And so-
first video game movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
And so I think that like whatever I don't know what studio made it was just kind of like, okay, like this is just like the source of material. Like the kids aren't gonna care. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna like just use this for inspiration and make something completely that has no attachment
Right.
to.
You kind of
Yeah.
wondered who it was for at the end of the day.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
whose Mario movie is this?
Best ending of a movie ever is what's her name? Princess Peach, or I don't think she was Princess Peach. Was it Daisy?
I think
in
it
the
was
movie?
Daisy, yeah.
She like
Why would
shows
it
up.
be Daisy?
That
Why
Here's
would
a
they
weird
use
thing.
Peach?
Daisy was the name of the. She is a princess in the
Yes.
Super Mario World.
Yes.
I forget where she pops in though.
Okay.
Shit.
Yeah, what's the
But she
ending?
shows up and with a gun at like after the movie, everything's been wrapped up, and she like barges through a door, and she's like has like a giant gun, and she's
Let's get these motherfuckers.
like, "Oh, guys, you're not gonna believe what's happening now." And then it like cuts to the like basically like such a ballsy move to be like, "We are going to get
Yeah.
a sequel, absolutely, and we are setting it up right now."
Oh my God.
And like.
Kind of how this.
And did not get a sequel.
Kind of how the second Independence Day movie ended. It sounded like they were like, well, there's more alien races out there. Like, well, let's kick their butts. And then they cut to credits. Like, I hope to God they don't make another Independence Day movie because that was ripe.
Yikes.
Bad.
Yeah, we talked about this a little last week. Live action video game movies have not historically been good. But animated features have done
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the
Or 2D. This is probably going to be a 3D
Yeah.
CG.
Any hope?
animation.
Yeah.
They're gonna have I haven't seen the movie original one. I've only heard some of the worst things I've ever heard about film. So my assumption is going to be better.
It has. Yeah.
Yes, and the fact that they're sticking with CG is, I think, high hopes for me.
And this, I just thought of it. It'll probably tie in with the Mario Universal World. Aren't they doing the theme park, like
Yeah,
a Super
I didn't
Mario
think
theme
about that,
park,
yeah.
or a Nintendo World? So,
Nintendo
yeah.
World inside of Universal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is perfect. Good
So-
for them.
This is a good time to bring up there's a theory out there, I don't know if you've read it, that the Mario, like all of the Mario games and all of the Mario characters, that they are all like actors who are like putting on
A play.
a play. Because if you
What?
look at like a lot of the openings,
Well,
there's
Mario 3.
like, yeah.
Yeah. I've heard
Yeah.
that theory because it begins with a curtain rising.
Oh, right.
And then
Yes.
they kind of play around, and then at the end, when you beat the game, the curtain falls and it goes to the
Ah.
end.
Right.
So it's like they performed Super Mario Brothers 3 for our benefit.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that theory. I hope it's true.
Yeah.
That's a cool theory.
This is also yet another good time because Nintendo is on a very big high right now.
Mhm.
That's kind of
fuck.
on there
All right,
because
I was Look at the fucking thing.
two of the 5 games nominated for Best Game of the Year are Nintendo originals, Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. And you just finished Odyssey games.
The story, there's plenty to do afterwards, which is nice. There's this scene after you beat Bowser, spoiler. And the hat that's been following you the whole time is like, hey, we still got a lot of hanging out to do.
Oh, okay. So
cool. So then, but then it unlocks the original Mushroom Kingdom from Super Mario 64. So you get to run around there. And
oh my God.
And the music's back, and
holy
it's
crap.
cool.
That's a big deal.
So yeah, they're on an upswing. So good for them.
Yeah, Nintendo's killing it with their
Love
Switch
Nintendo.
and their original games. But so would you watch this, Jessica?
I mean, it's a little bit racist towards my people, but I'll still watch it, because I'm Italian.
Yeah. I could see a lot of racism built in to these video games.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Of course I'll watch it.
We're not all plumbers who love pizza.
I'm kidding. I love Mario. I think it's adorable, and I like Princess Peach a lot.
I do assume all Italians live in the sewer.
They travel through pipes.
Like, I don't
It's a
want
me,
you making my
Mario.
pizza.
Yeah. They all talk like that.
I
It's
will
true.
be interested to hear Mario say more than just a few, like a few quippy things, because from all we've heard of him is like, "Hey, it's a me, Mario," or "Wah," or whatever.
I hope there's no more dialogue.
I-
It's all mostly silent action.
I
and
want a
just,
fucking monologue from Mario.
Mario.
A peach, and then he runs away. Yeah.
It's cute. If they keep the cute factor, then I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm picturing in my head something like Sonic. Like they had a 2D television show that I watched when I was a kid.
I remember that.
I'm
Jaleel
thinking
White
it's
did
going to
the
be
voice.
very...
Did he?
Yeah,
Oh my
Urkel.
God.
Who did?
Yeah.
Really?
Jaleel White did the voice of Sonic.
Is this the one with like the Sonic kids? Like when they lose their mom? Is that the one?
Oh, that's
lose
sad.
their mom. I don't
There's
remember
anyway,
that.
there's
Wow,
another one.
it's like an American
It's
Tale.
really
but
dark.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Something.
I love
It's like-
Sonic.
not Sonic specifically. It's like
Yeah.
I don't
know.
No, it was a Sonic show, but anyways.
Okay.
All right, I think we burned
I
that
do
one
want to
out.
say. I do want to say.
Mm-hmm.
It depends. What do we think about this studio specifically? The Despicable Me people, the Minions people with the material.
Despicable Me is a good movie.
But
I think it's probably a
Minions
good fit.
has kind of been played out, I gotta say.
Sure.
It's like, holy shit.
Well,
you
yeah,
guys,
but
like,
I
How well
watched
is
the
it doing-
Minions movie. I liked it.
it's
was good.
funny.
It was funny.
I mean,
yeah.
it's cute.
How is it doing with the kids though? Like, is this going? Are they going to get a response?
I don't think kids pay attention to what studios are making what.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, but
are
and
are they watching Minions? Are they watching Despicable Me
think
still?
so.
Oh,
course.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right, then.
They're
It's gonna
obsessed.
do- it's gonna do fine.
Cocaine for
Yeah,
kids.
yeah,
The
it really
Minions are
is.
coke for kids.
This
I,
is a
and
good
I remember
move.
when the Minions like first got introduced in the Despicable Me movie. They were great.
Yeah.
They're super
Yeah.
funny.
So
yeah.
funny, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Let's watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the last bigger news of the week: Amazon getting a Lord of the Rings TV show. We talked
Okay.
about it last week a little bit. I think maybe it was on headlines, etc. But there was being tossed around to some different studios. We weren't sure. We thought maybe Hulu would get it, Netflix. Turns out it's Amazon. Amazon is on a huge upswing.
Yeah.
With their film and television.
Why does it say Tolkien resigns?
I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
family?
Yes. So the heir to the throne, to the Tolkien estate, as it were, is 93-year-old Mr. Tolkien. I don't remember his first name, but
Johnny
it's
Tolkien.
Johnny
J.R.R.
Tolkien. Bob Tolkien.
J.R.R.
Yeah, George R.R. Tolkien. Anyways, it's kind of two news things at once, but anyways, he's given it. He was the heir to it. The other people that are on the board are like his three other siblings, and then their lawyer. But he had his tight grip on it, which allowed for a lot of the movies to come out the way they did, and he didn't want to sell the rights for much else outside of that. So that's why we've only seen the 6 movies.
Yeah.
And the rest of the
He's
family
the
has
writer.
been okay
Yeah.
with. No, he's the son of the writer.
Oh, the son of
Tolkien's
the
dead.
writer. Well, I mean, yeah, still.
He didn't
yeah.
write shit.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
guy. He just
My
gets
assumption is that
checks.
he's the oldest son, and he's 93, so Tolkien's long gone.
I'm
Tolkien,
still here.
Tolkien OG. But the
Gollum
rest of the
is on
family, The rest of the family's been okay with. They've been wanting to sell the rights or get more properties and things out for it, and so I think this is the first step.
Okay.
Did you get the number? I think that they're still somehow involved. They're like they retain some of the rights, but
yeah, I don't know.
do you remember? Did you know what the number was that they sold it for?
I think it's $250 million.
$250 million.
Jesus
Holy
Christ.
Just for the rights, not even for the production.
Not for the production.
Wow.
Of the show, just for the rights.
Yeah, $250 million just to have the rights to make this Amazon TV show. Now, a lot of people were saying, we also said this pretty early on, actually, that Amazon had been in talks. I forget the name of the guy that's running their video studio, but he had been talking for a while about he wanted to make a Game of Thrones equivalent for Amazon.
Yeah.
And we think that this was the answer to it. And this is a huge answer to it.
Yeah.
This property is going to take them to a million
Wow.
places. They're also talked about within the contract, potentially a spin-off to the television show already. And I guess on top of that, this is going to be pre-Fellowship of the Rings. So this is we're going to be able to explore a lot of characters that have not yet been explored.
So
in
is this delving into like the Silmarillion, like that book?
Nah, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
yeah.
wondering
'Cause
like
that's,
how
like, pre-Hobbit stuff.
yeah,
Like
I'm
the
wondering is,
history
like,
of
before
Middle
Hobbit
Earth
or
and
after,
everything.
like what
Yeah.
time period, kind of.
It's all as far as I understand, it's pre all of that. It is things that we have yet to see.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So did you? We did a franchise elimination game, and you got rid of Lord of the Rings. Is that true?
Did I?
Who got rid of Lord of the Rings? I can't.
I mean, I
remember.
like Lord of the Rings. It's not my favorite. But
It's not my favorite either.
I mean, I think I like the movies quite a bit. I think that they're. I didn't necessarily like them when they came out because I don't know. I thought they were getting too much attention. But now, as I've aged, I understand like why they were. They're good. It's a good, solid trilogy of movies in a way that very few trilogies.
It's
have
hard to do trilogies, yeah.
Stuck that landing as well as the original Fellowship. The original 3.
Yeah.
Hobbits were terrible.
Yeah, I did not
Yeah.
like the Hobbit films.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
That you're either a Harry Potter person or a Lord of the Rings person. You can like both,
I like both.
but you lean harder towards one.
Yeah.
I lean
Potter.
Harry
I'm a
Potter.
Harry
Good one.
Potter leaner, but I do definitely love Lord of the Rings.
What are you a leaner of?
I think I've read
Harry
all of the
Potter.
Harry Potter books. I couldn't get into the Fellowship. I
Well,
started.
and it might also be a little bit of a age gap type of things because these books have been out for a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like my dad's
Oh, sure.
super into Lord of the Rings.
And
Yeah.
the writing, is much drier.
Yes.
And like
It's dense.
slow and
Yeah,
long and
yeah.
dense. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
it's
these
like a
ones.
boring D&D story.
And I couldn't wait to
No,
get.
it's not.
I couldn't wait to get back to reading my Harry Potter books when I was in them. It was like a real event, and I hadn't had that in a while with books. So it was like, holy shit! I can't wait to get back.
I want
into
those 10-page chapters, and like every chapter is just a brand new
Yeah.
like piece of decadence.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
And it is no less of a rich world
sure.
for it. I mean, it's not like it was a light Da Vinci Code type bullshit. It was a really good story. It was just written differently than
Right.
Lord of the Rings and easier to get into, maybe. I don't
And
know.
Potter, like, it was kind of like the next big franchise, and nothing has really taken that role since.
For like fantasy.
Yes,
Yeah.
at least for fantasy. I mean, Hunger
Besides
Games
Game
kind of
of
took a
Thrones?
role, but it's more that's more dystopian.
Hunger Games died
Thrones
off
is
quick,
not
though.
fully
It did. It kind of
fantasy.
went
Yeah,
downhill.
it was big for a bit, and then we had what
the
Divergent,
Insurgent series,
Divergent.
right?
series,
Yeah, the
that
Divergent
didn't
It was
series.
meh.
That didn't even take off.
Yeah.
Anyways, are you guys excited about a Lord of the Rings TV show? Do you think I think Amazon will do it justice personally?
If it's done well, then
Sure.
yes.
I guess like what I appreciate about Game of Thrones is like the edge to it. Like I really, and that's what I think made Game of Thrones. Put
They're
it on the map.
talking about that. They want sex in this. They want violence.
It's not
they
even.
Want,
Yeah,
But do
it's-
they want incest?
oh, they want incest.
It's not even that. It's not even the edge. It's like the fact that like Game of Thrones like just had the guts to just like kill off your main character at the end of the first season and leave everybody else going like, what?
Yeah.
What am I
First of its
watching
kind.
now?
It's the first time it's
Yeah.
done.
And so I don't know if I don't know enough about Lord of the Rings or what they're going to be doing. If they're just going to do a Lord of the Rings version of Game of Thrones, I feel like that's kind of weird. I also was reading something on Vox or Slate, one of those online magazines, and they were talking about how basically the precedent set by the sale could be like dangerous for the movie industry as a whole, because if you think of the way that Amazon has been able to control like the literary industry, that like now that this is their first foray into like first major step into
foyer,
acquiring,
by the way.
foray into acquiring a major property, and they could start to manipulate in the same way that like they can manipulate publishers because they just control so much.
Sure.
And, like if you want to publish a book, like you have to do it Amazon's way, or you're screwed.
Yeah, and I just found out that I didn't know this, but the CEO or the owner of Amazon is also the owner of the Washington Post.
Bezos.
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 Is that the
Bezos.
parent company?
Maybe.
That's his name.
That's the
his
guy.
name.
Yeah.
That's
Jeff
the guy.
Bezos.
Jeff Bezos. Yeah, honestly, I wasn't asking for this. I don't care. I'm not a big Lord of the Rings fan, though, so.
But I mean, this is a piece of their wall of triumph or whatever that they're going to be building towards. I mean,
I hope that they do it justice, because I really love Lord of the Rings, and I feel like if they don't, I'm going to be upset. So
I just wonder if like we're going to be done. Like after Game of Thrones, like TV trends change in TV constantly, and it's like there's always those shows that are trying to like do what the last show did.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Lost was popular. We're gonna do Lost, and then like by the time their show gets up and running, it's like nobody cares about Lost anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
You've made this argument before. I disagree with you, but you think after Game of Thrones, I don't want to put words in. I'm going to put words in your mouth.
put them in my mouth.
You think that after Game of Thrones, there's not going to be any show that is going to be as good as or as big in the
This is too hot of a
zeitgeist,
take.
as big in the zeitgeist as that show? I think you're wrong. I think that I think it will move forward and change, and then we will have another big show. We don't know what it is yet, because you never know what it's going to be. Is it going to be based off a TV series, a book? I don't know. But there will be something else.
So,
Hot take.
so I'm just going to ask right now, and you could very well be right, but what's the next show that Game of
something-
Thrones is ending, so there should already be something out there. So
Bubbling, like,
what's
something
the
that's-
next show that you think?
Potentially Westworld. That's a potential. I'm not
We're
Potential.
still
saying
waiting
it
on
is.
season 2, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they're
Potential.
expanding the universe. There's gonna be samurais and fucking
I
medieval
mean, Walking
stuff.
Dead's still around.
But not it doesn't have the cultural footholds that I think
That's
It
true. I
did.
guess it's not.
I think it did.
it did. But like
was-
now I talk to people, and it's weird because I was a big Walking Dead fan, but I don't have access to cable, and so like AMC, which was like kind of one of the original channels for the golden age
Yeah.
of television. Like now it's weird because those shows are hard to watch, like because they're not on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon. Like they're hard to get your hands on. So I find myself being like, I would love to watch The Walking Dead, but
The big
I don't
jump
know
in the
how.
bad guy for last season, Negan, that was a big deal. That wasn't I mean
killing off
that's one of the
Glenn.
biggest
I mean,
yeah.
that's one
it's
of the
certainly a
biggest
big
villains on television in a while that everybody knows.
I would say that's certainly a big show. Obviously a big show. But I would say that I talked to plenty of people who stopped watching it 3 seasons ago, or who just haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Period.
I mean,
Yeah,
we could
you're
we
right.
could also be more scientific about it. There's numbers. There's
we should,
Nielsen.
we should
Nelson.
look into what
Nielsen.
the numbers
Nielsen.
are. But
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but again, who knows? There's
yeah, I
another
think
franchise.
Westworld. I'm gonna give you
Yeah.
the potato for Westworld, because I forgot about
Fucking
Westworld,
Westworld. Thank
and
you.
I love
Potato Man.
Westworld.
All right, we'll see.
We will
Maybe.
see.
Yeah. When does that drop? Do we know the next Westworld?
Sometime
Next
in
year.
2018.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Well-
I think we actually may have said it even a month,
Okay.
but I can't remember. But yeah, sometime next year. All right, I think that's it for the big headlines. Let's move into headlines, etc., where we just kind of gloss over some of the other things that are happening this week in news. Who wants to take it? Scott?
All right. First up, MoviePass introduces even cheaper $89.95 per year plan. So it's
$7 a month.
Damn.
So it was $9.99 or like $10 a month. Okay.
Well, it was like 30 when Kevin had it,
Oh shit.
and now it was 10. It introduced like 3-4 months ago. We have it.
Are you locked into the $10 plan?
Yes.
Can you
This
switch
is
over?
for new people.
So do you feel like chumps for not waiting?
No.
$10.
$10 is
has
still
paid
You could be
itself
spending
off.
$3 a month.
Eh.
You know what?
You know what? It's
That's
okay.
half of a CBS All Access.
Just saying.
It's
The only
okay.
way I know how to judge money is
guys, it's good.
Let's see here.
how to
like
subscribe to
5
CBS.
CBS
Telling
All
me
Access.
like this
$10
dinner
a
is going to
month.
be
Is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, my buddy
So
was at
cheap.
my buddy Clark was like, "Is this worth it?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? Is it $7? How is it not worth it? If you go to the movies at all
Uh-oh.
once a month, it's worth it."
Glasses are on.
Here we go. Hot take.
As a member of the Screen Actors Guild,
Shit.
I don't have to pay for movies
Yeah, you do. Because how much is this?
unless they're Disney.
Is that true? Yeah. Why?
Because Disney sucks.
Disney found a
Disney's
way to
out
fuck
of
them
the
over.
system. Out of
For
SAG.
some reason, they have some like rule that if it's like a Disney, if it's a big Disney movie,
Does that include
The path doesn't
Marvel and Star Wars?
yeah.
So
Ooh. That's a lot of
most,
movies.
Yes, I do.
most Disney movies are pretty big. So like the one about the running team in Africa or whatever, you could probably go see that for free or something. Or
I don't know.
Which I thought they should have called
think
Warm Runnings. But.
Depends on the how on it.
Nice, nice.
I think it depends on how on it the person selling me the ticket is.
Okay.
Sometimes I just show them and they're like, "All right,
Oh,
sign your name."
Right here. Yeah.
No, they're not impressed. They're just
You want to take the next headline?
okay. George Clooney to direct and star in a Catch-22 TV show.
Interesting.
On what? Do we know?
I don't.
No
We
idea.
don't.
I just saw the headline. I don't know what. Has anybody read the book or
Yes,
seen the
It's been
original?
a long
Yeah,
time.
I read the book, and it wasn't a movie back in the day. It's a funny book. It's a satire about military and kind of the fruitlessness or
The Fruitless Journey.
or the fruitless journey. Fridays on Color Circuit,
11 a.m.
11 a.m. MST. But it's a good book. I think it's an interesting choice.
I don't
to
know
have,
who's. He's way too old to play Yossarian,
Yossarian, yeah.
and I don't.
Maybe like one of the generals.
Could be
or-
one of the generals,
yeah.
and I also his movie Suburbicon, right, is getting pretty bad reviews, and he's
Oh
not
yeah,
proven
yeah.
himself to be. I guess he's had a couple of hits as a director, but I don't know.
Nothing too
Yeah.
great.
Nothing too crazy. So, but I like Catch-22. It's a fun
Yeah.
book and fun movie.
What's the genre of it? What would you say it is?
Satire,
Yeah, like
humorous. I mean, it's not a heavy drama by any
Oh, okay.
means.
it's
Okay.
like think of like like MASH.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Yeah.
that feeling of like the like absurdity of war.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
like so it's like all these funny crazy characters and like but like pressed up next to the like ineptitude and bureaucracy of the military and
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Because what was the catch-22 from the book, which was the phrase that we use now? It was you can get out of flying missions if you are insane, but if you say that you're insane, you're clearly not insane.
Yeah.
So you have to still fly your
if
mission.
you apply, if you like put in the paperwork saying I'm crazy, then like
You're clearly not crazy
you're not
because you have
crazy.
the sense of mind to do that. So that's a catch-22. Is you're always screwed.
I get
Yeah.
it. Sophie's choice. Multiple James Francos may star in X-Men movie Multiple Man. I don't know
Oh
anything
my
about
God.
this.
I don't know anything about
Yeah.
this.
I don't know.
Interesting. He was a part of X Factor, which was one of the groups of mutants and everything.
Oh, okay.
Of all the characters, that's a really interesting one to do a movie about.
You know what is also kind of fun? DC is also releasing another character, another television show soon too. That is just a strenuous DC character. Is that we're running out of main characters?
Right.
Now we're like diving into this world that most people don't know about,
Right.
but comic book readers do.
Sure.
Yeah, so I kind of like that learning.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I always thought they talked about like an X-Force or an X-Factor
Yeah,
movie because
yeah.
that's a whole realm they haven't really
They've
tapped
talked
into.
about it. That'll have like Cable, maybe
Right.
Deadpool series might bring
Yeah,
that
that's
about.
a good bridge to that. Yeah.
Cool. And I'm not sure how I feel about James Franco still. I feel still weird, but
Yeah.
maybe
Multiple James Francos though.
Oh, that's cool. I'm okay
Because
with
like
that.
in The Deuce, there were two.
He's just
Yeah.
multiplying.
So now
guys.
he's going to have like 8.
So he just keeps multiplying himself? What's the deal?
Well, it's like you can
see what
I
happened.
mean,
you can, so his power is he can basically make himself into like a fleet of ninjas that can attack.
Cool.
Oh.
Like multiple people.
Multiple
That's pretty
men.
awesome.
There was an interesting arc in the comic books where one of his multiples was killed, and like it affected him deeply.
It's like a
It's an
twin
interesting idea
story.
for a character. Yeah.
Wow.
I had an interesting casting choice in mind that came to me the other day when I was drunk.
Here we go.
I know Paul Rudd is already Ant-Man, but I think we should put him in the DC universe, and he should be the Riddler. You know,
The
Riddler?
the Riddler
God damn it.
in the Batman. In it.
I do.
Rudd
I
and his
love Paul Rudd. I do love Paul Rudd.
Oh
No!
the potato stays.
Jessica, you want to take the next one?
Sure. Paul Scheer says his Galaxy Quest show will have 2 separate casts.
Do we already know anything about Galaxy Quest?
I love that movie.
Galaxy
It's a fun
Quest.
movie.
It's a
Galaxy
great
Quest is
movie.
awesome.
Yeah, so Paul Scheer, who is one of the creative voices behind Children's Hospital and all of those.
MST, UV, LMNOP.
Yeah.
So
Best name ever. SUV, and it ends with SUV, and it still stands for Sports Utility. So genius.
he's great, and he's the helming the Galaxy Quest show, whatever reboot. And I thought it was a reboot, but apparently, and all he said is there will be 2 separate casts.
Okay.
So what the assumption that people are making is that they're going to, because the first movie was pretty meta in and of itself,
Yeah,
and
it
so
was.
it's going to be like the plot might be that they're rebooting. Like it won't be. It'll be like a quasi sequel to the movie, but they're rebooting. And so they'll have the original cast or as many of the actors that they can get.
Yeah,
obviously
that are
you can't
alive,
do-
yeah.
Wow.
That
So
is
like
a great
really
idea.
even turning it on its head even more.
That wouldn't surprise me. Just Paul Scheer's like kind of sense of humor. He's so funny. He has a podcast also called
Oh, how did this get made?
How Did This Get
Yeah.
Made? Very, very popular.
Yeah.
He was in The League. He's just a funny man. Yeah. You want to take this next one, Scott?
Sure. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. The co-writer of it is adapting Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh.
That was a children's show?
It was on it was on Snick on Nickelodeon in the 90s.
Okay.
I remember that.
It's well revered amongst the people now who dictate what
Millennials.
movies and TV shows get made. I want to see this from my childhood now. It's one of those things that it's hard to get on DVD, so there's like all this real deep nostalgia for it and a love for the show.
Okay.
I didn't have cable at the time, so I have no connection to it.
I have very warm memories of
So do
going to my grandmother's. My grandma lived in a trailer, and it was a trashy trailer, but it felt like a palace to me.
Aww.
And my parents,
Grandma's trailer.
my parents would
Well deserved. Yes.
we did not have cable, but my
like a
grandma
palace.
did. And so I would go there, and she would just like make me mac and cheese and chicken nuggets, and like I would just like sit like underneath the cover, like watching Are You Afraid of the
That's
Dark,
awesome.
and being like terrified.
Yeah, it was like Tales from the Crypt for kids.
Yeah,
it was a neat
used to
idea.
Scare
Okay.
me
Yeah.
like really bad when I was a kid.
And there's
yeah.
like they like walk into the woods, and they have like that circle of rocks with like the.
It was-
they're just like
Yeah.
reading the stories.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
never the same. They would do reenactments of these little shows, right? Am I remembering this correctly? Like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's a story, and then there's like
They
and then it
cut
go-
to
yeah.
like
So
an
the-
actual telling, like
Exactly.
yeah.
So the
yeah.
Midnight
and they're always
Society-
different actors, right?
Oh yeah, it's an
Yeah.
anthology show.
kind of like a Goosebumps type of thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Like the Midnight Society is like that's where they all meet. Like this group of kids all meets around like this bonfire in the woods and
Got it.
reads their like,
It was a neat idea for
Scary
a show.
stories,
Yeah,
yeah.
It was well done.
and then it cuts to the actual story.
Cool. You want to take the next one?
Tarantino's next film, Les Manson. is
Charles Manson. He's saying it's going to be less about Charles Manson.
that- Les Manson, more about 1969. Warner, Paramount, and Sony duke it out. Cruise, Pitt, and DiCaprio also fight. I think that Sony has since won the rights.
Really? I mean, this was like 2 days ago's news. But 2
Yeah.
days ago's
Tuesdays
news.
goes-
Tuesdays.
Tarantino's gonna be on Sony. Use guys.
And the latest person to be tapped, or that Tarantino wants, is Cruise.
As
But
Manson?
I don't know. I don't know if it's
That'd
as
be
Manson,
too
but
old
they're
for
thinking
me.
as one of the
Manson's like-
main characters
Yeah,
of this next
DiCaprio
film.
Well, yeah, for
Way
69, you'd
better.
have to have a younger
Yeah.
guy to.
And it's amazing. Like, can you be that big of a? I mean, he's a staple director now, and to be that big that these huge companies are fighting over you because he was with Weinstein for the longest time, or for all of his movies actually.
They put him on the map.
And
knows
then
how to
also
make a-
Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, he's got like these are the 3 best actors, or some of the best actors that we have. I don't know. It's super cool. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love 1969 as a year, I gotta say.
Is that the year
It's
of
a good
love?
year.
No,
Summer of
Love was
Love
1967.
1967.
7.
But
okay.
still,
1969.
I
It should have
love
been the
69.
summer of Making Love.
Making love.
Making love.
Feel like making love.
More video game movies. Call of Duty looks for the perfect script. They're looking for a Marvel-esque franchise. They said if whatever script we end up getting, it needs to be perfect, or we're not going to release it.
oh god,
Stamp.
it's gonna be terrible.
I don't.
I'm
get
looking
it.
for a Marvel-esque franchise. Like, I just
Oh.
like the stupid producer that's like, you know that like the most successful like model of making movies. Like that's what we're looking for. Is just like that.
Well, that's what Amazon said too about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, like I go back to my like radio days where like you'd have a program director or something like we need to make a viral video. Yeah, it's like that just tells me you have no idea what you're talking about. We need a video that just blows up everywhere. Everyone sees it. We need you guys to make that.
What's interesting about that, though, is that there are people that specialize in making this. Andrew Bowser from Nerdist News, he makes viral videos. It's one of his jobs. Nathan Fielder makes viral videos. It's just, I don't know, it's just interesting that there is a psychology and director mindset for doing that.
But I mean, I think we can see that with DC, for example, they'd have a Marvel-esque universe, right? And it's not doing well. So it's
That's why
not
they're
always.
You've got to have the talent behind it.
Yeah,
You've gotta-
Marvel-esque meaning successful, like
Yes.
money making.
exactly.
That's all we want.
That's one of the reasons DC has said we're not doing that anymore. We don't know what we're doing. We're just going to they're now maneuvering towards solo films.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our next topic. Who's up?
I think it's me
Yeah.
or you.
It's you.
Jake Gyllenhaal in talks to replace Ben Affleck as Batman. So all I gotta do is sigh. All I'm gonna do is sigh
I'm
and just say
Cold
stop.
on the whole Batman thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I'm over it.
I will say though,
Stop.
after watching Nightcrawler, goddamn it, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake is
You
great.
have
He's a
my
good
heart.
I
Yeah.
love me some Jake,
He'll
but
be a good
still.
Batman.
So apparently he actually was supposed to be in the Nolan films. Or no, I'm sorry, not supposed to, but he tried out for the Nolan films
To be the Batman.
to be Batman.
The
They did not want him for it, and now he is talking to Ben
So
and
what's-
the other people that are running
He's
the
a good
Batman.
What's
Batman.
the deal with Ben? I mean,
He
they-
doesn't want to
other-
do it, right?
He's out. Yeah,
Yeah.
He
Well-
said maybe after this film. I don't think it's been.
They're trying to
overt.
figure it out. Like
don't
I
think
think
he's been
they're
overt.
trying. They're still going to try to figure out how to exit him. But it seems like he was really gung ho about maybe writing, and then I don't know
directing.
But then
Yeah.
all of that cooled, and I think it seems like a lot of people who are working in that universe are just kind of I don't know the inner workings of it, but it seems like there's some
Even Gal Gadot is like, if you can't get rid of this asshole, I don't want to
Right.
do any more of these films.
Well, I think
problems with
that's
the
been,
producers, and
Yeah, I think he's been fired, right?
Yeah, but he's been officially fired, supposedly,
Brett
but she
Ratner.
still,
Mm-hmm.
she still hasn't said I'm gonna do this.
Right.
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
but
And there's a
something-
controversy with her too, because I guess she had a friend that was supposedly raped by someone, and she told them like, "Well, do you have proof?" And kind of just like a deal with it kind of thing. Like,
With
"Are
the
you
producer?
sure?"
Don't point to me.
No,
when
with somebody else. With somebody else, like
we're
a,
talking
like a,
about alleged rape.
like a friend of hers, where she's like, kind of like, "Get over it." And how do I know that you're not telling the truth?
I'm confused though. Her friend was raped by who? What does that have to do with her?
I don't know, but it's just like a controversy against her kind of thing. That
Against
she's,
her?
Yeah.
Well, let's
Gal
not
Gadot.
Yeah, we don't know
talk
what
too
we're
much
talking
about it
about.
if we don't have anything in front
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man spin-off Morbius, the living vampire movie, in the works with Power Rangers writers.
I don't
Okay.
know anything about this character. But it's going to be in the Spider-Man universe through Sony, and they're tapping the Power Rangers writers, I'm assuming, because the Saban movie, I think, did okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
And our friends over at Hyper RPG are also working with Saban on a original role-playing game that that's doing good as well. So, well, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't have high hopes.
X-Files returns January 3rd for 11th season.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Yeah, an official date is what we have. That's new. Yeah.
And we thought it was going to be later in the year, and so it's kind of crazy that it's going to be so soon in the year. Like,
Yeah, that's great.
they've already been filming
Month and a
all
half.
of it. It's just nuts. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get Out submitted under musical or comedy for Golden Globes.
Yeah, this was kind of a big story this week. And so I'm kind of confused because I've read a few stories about this. And originally it was like a surprise to Jordan Peele that the producers, but now I'm reading an article that says the decision by Jordan Peele, Blumhouse, and Universal to submit their film Get Out in the Best Motion Picture musical or comedy category. So it was
That's what
his
I've heard
idea.
too, is that it was his idea.
Okay.
I also heard him say something along the lines of, I genuinely do not care because
Yeah,
it
that's the
is
quote
a
I have here.
film. Yeah, go ahead if you want
At
to
the
read
end
it.
of the day, call Get Out horror, comedy, drama, action, or documentary. I don't care. Whatever you call it, just know it's our truth.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, he I don't know, like tongue-in-cheek, said that he made it as a documentary because it was something he was speaking truth to in the black community. He was making a movie for what he saw as an underrepresented section of horror movie fans, the black horror movie fan and everything. So yeah, the fact that it's nominated, I hope it does well, whatever it does. It's
Have we all seen it? Can I ask you guys what you think the genre, like if you had to pinpoint a genre for this film, what would you choose it as?
Thinking in awards because they don't have
Not
they don't
necessarily
have a
awards.
category for horror.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Put in like psychological horror type.
Yeah.
I'd say psychological thriller.
Yeah.
Thriller, yeah, psychological horror thriller.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely elements of there's comedic elements in there.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's not.
I feel like
But
that's
it's
not the
not a
forefront of the
comedy.
movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely psychological thriller.
That might be the downfall, though, in that category, is that people are looking at it for its comedic value, and they're like, well, maybe it isn't the best as far as comedy is concerned.
But that's been like
Right.
historically, like that's the thing about the Golden Globes is that all of these movies that if you're not like a blatantly drama, you can submit yourself as a comedy, like The Martian, right? Like
That's
submitted
right,
itself
yeah.
as a
So
comedy.
This
And it
isn't
was
the
like-
first time this
'cause
has happened.
There
yeah.
were jokes in it, and they do it strategically so that they might have a better shot at beating out the big prestige dramas that are absolutely going to win. Because it's like, if you're going up for the best picture in a drama category, then you have to be like the a Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Yeah, like The
or-
Revenant and
Yeah, you've got to
like
have
that.
that. Like, it's got to be
Gravitas.
just dripping in dramatic syrup.
Mudbound.
Yeah, exactly. Moonlight. Look at this. Think of everything last. I guess La La Land wasn't very dramatic, but it still
Lion.
was
Lion.
that Hollywood prestige.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right, let's move on. What do we got? Coming soon now with Post Tomatoes. Post Tomatoes always comes before.
Pre-tomatoes.
Free
guess.
tomatoes. I'm
prom
new.
to bombs. Dang it! I was fucking up.
Next week. Next
Those
week.
aren't-
We'll
those
get
aren't
it. We'll get
words.
it eventually, guys.
Prom
We'll
to
get it.
bomb.
So how this works is that every week we talk about the new films that are coming out the following week, generally on a Thursday, as it's moved back in time. Right? It was Friday night releases, then Thursday. This week, Wednesday, because of Thanksgiving. Smart move, theaters. And so we always guess what we think the Rotten Tomato score is going to be for that particular movie. We go down the line, we each have a guess, and then there's an actual Rotten Tomato score that accumulates. And so let's go down that line, and then we'll talk about how we're actually going to revamp this segment moving forward. But first, Jessica, what did you think Justice League was going to get?
I thought it was going to be 55%.
I thought it was
because
gonna-
it's going to be a real stinker.
I thought it was going to be a 78.
So that's 63.
And I thought highly of it. 84%.
I think we've all seen probably.
Kevin thought
Yeah,
50%, but he's not here, so his scores are null and void.
So he can't win at the 39% that it sits at. That was as of yesterday or Friday. I can't remember. Yesterday, actually. And it was interesting, too, because Rotten Tomatoes usually will release scores as soon as critics start submitting those scores, usually a week or two ahead.
Oh yeah, there was a controversy
And
here.
there was controversy towards Rotten Tomatoes because Rotten Tomatoes says they are not releasing the score until Thursday midnight.
Midnight, yeah.
And that is exactly what happened. Although I'm a part of a lot of Facebook groups related to cinema, film, etc., and some people were posting pictures of the scores on the app. So the Rotten Tomato app score got released, I think, accidentally prior to Thursday at midnight.
Interesting.
Well, it goes back to the whole concept that Warner Brothers owns a stake, like a pretty hefty stake in Rotten Tomatoes.
Do they?
And they also
So does Comcast.
yeah. So that's one of the controversies was that Warner Brothers was somehow putting their foot on the scale they're putting their weight
yeah.
Well,
weight on.
It's not working because they're still 39%. So.
The amazing thing about it is like how much Rotten Tomato scores are kind of are now a deciding factor for people.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it used to be a niche, a little thing. Not a lot of people knew about it, and now it's a big deal for
It's a
everything
big
that
deal.
comes
I
out,
check.
yeah.
When I was checking Fandango yesterday.
Fandango.
I like that you call it
Fandango.
Fandango.
Fandango. I
Fandango.
was checking the scores to see if I wanted to actually see the movies. So
39
I
is
think
tough.
Jess won, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Ooh.
Potato.
Mudbound. Jessica, what did you think it was going
I
to
thought
get?
it was going to be 90%. It looks like Oscar bait, kind of.
I said
even though it's not a movie.
78. Wait, it isn't a film? It's
Is it a
television?
movie?
No, I think it's a film.
Oh, okay.
I said
Yeah,
78.
sure.
I
Jason?
said 83.
And I said 89.
What'd it get?
Ooh.
97.
Wow.
Holy
Spicy
woo.
meatball.
Yeah,
So is this on Netflix or is it just
Yeah.
it's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
See the logo.
All right.
It came out last
I
week.
guess we better watch it. And I won.
That's
Yay.
crazy
It's
high.
also got what's his name from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Mike.
Mr. Mike. Who
Jonathan
won that one?
Banks.
I did.
Damn it. Give that ball to yourself. Give that hot potato to yourself. And The Punisher, Marvel's new television series on Netflix. Jessica, what did you think it was going to get?
I thought I was going to get a 53%.
I said 78.
73.
75.
67.
67.
God damn it. Kevin would have won again.
Wow.
But he didn't.
But he
And
didn't.
I won.
Not
No, I
yet.
would have won.
You would have won? Where are you, Jason? 73?
I am winning, right? 73.
Yeah.
73?
You won.
6 points
Yep.
away.
Kevin was
potato.
4 points away.
Well, Kevin's not here, so
He doesn't
We can't
win.
put that out there enough. Kevin is
So we settle for second best.
I miss him.
All right. So for our new films that are coming up, none of us watched these, did we? I'm assuming the ones that just came out last week.
no.
I don't think so.
Probably
No.
should.
I
I want to watch Mudbound.
I want to watch.
Mudbound looks interesting to me.
I want to watch Justice League too.
I do. I think only because I have a movie pass and that's it.
Yeah, I want to
If
see
I didn't have
Justice
movie
League.
pass-
You've seen.
I did not watch Suicide Squad. I think I have seen the rest of the DCEU though.
Yeah. I mean, I just haven't. I've not seen any of them.
Yeah.
Well, Batman versus Superman.
I still want to see that for
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what I've heard about every single one that comes out other than Wonder Woman was
Right.
that
Yeah.
hype, dud. Hype.
Dud.
Dud.
Yep.
Hype.
Oh, I double checked too. I said Suicide Squad last week was one of the highest grossing films of all time. I checked it. It's 780 million or so. 51st or 52nd highest grossing film of all time.
So that's not the
That's
highest
far
grossing
from
film.
What? I said one of. 51st or 52nd of all films
50
ever?
One of the highest grossing films of all time. And
That's
then
top 100.
51st.
That's top 100. That's pretty good.
If it was like top 10, you'd be a lot closer.
Wait, you took my phone?
Yeah, then taking something away from you. would be important.
You don't get the potato and you don't get your phone.
Damn it. Ah.
Anyway, coming soon.
Still pretty high.
Let's do some pre-tomatoes.
That was a quick hot take. Now with pre-tomatoes, okay, so the idea here, again, we give Rotten Tomato scores. We're trying this out. We're thinking about applying a democratic vote on what we think the score is going to be. Consensus. Yeah. So we're gonna have to fight a little bit on what we think these are going to get in the Rotten Tomato website. But first, let's go through the movies. Gary Oldman's Darkest Hour, his portrayal of Winston Churchill.
Churchill.
You had something to say about this last time we walked by the poster.
It looks like too much makeup.
Oh yeah, you are not a big fan of the makeup. That's what
smoke.
it was.
Look at all that smoke.
It just looks like the definition of like a prestige Oscar. I mean, it might be good. People seem to. I don't know.
People eat this shit
It's
up.
just
Director
like,
of Atonement, Joe Wright.
I liked Atonement. I thought Atonement was pretty good.
I liked Atonement too, but it just looks like
I'm
it's one of
okay
these
with
things.
makeup. What's
I
wrong with
mean,
makeup?
Lithgow did
Did
Winston
sans makeup,
Churchill
and it was
and
great.
without makeup. Yeah, exactly. He was wonderful.
I still don't. I don't know. I'm pro makeup in the Hollywood world. I think, especially when you're trying to portray a character, now you can your eyes are another way to buy into a movie. It is a movie. I get that acting should be above all. I agree,
Right.
but
Have you seen like Woody Allen as LBJ? Have you seen like how terrible that makeup is?
hey, some people do to bad makeup. I'm not pro bad makeup. I don't know.
I think it's like a
He's
lame.
only pro good makeup.
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
And I'm also pro good acting.
It also just looks like just
mostly
Oscar
pro
fodder
makeup.
to like just such
Sure.
Oscar fodder.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Is this kind of like, because we had oh god damn it, Jackie. Yes, thank you. We now have Crown. Am I just making this up in my head that we're getting a lot of this kind of
Biopic thing happening.
biopic for
Biopic.
biopics for big
Whatever.
politicians and
Yeah.
politician relatives, and is that a thing right now?
Could be.
Well, we've had there was a Oliver Stone did Nixon years ago with
Years
Anthony
ago.
Hopkins.
JFK.
I mean, we've had them, and
Sure,
maybe
sure.
there's maybe a flood of them now because we're grasping to what was good about this country. Maybe,
Sure.
I don't know.
Could be.
And it's a liberal-run Hollywood, so of course we're gonna go to the good old days.
I still think there is definitely a thing going on with all these like 9/11.
We got to have one of those every couple of years.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
glorifying
Sure.
the
Yeah, I think we're in the
military.
middle of that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not entirely sure why. But
Well, you can
anyways,
have both. I mean, the two's. Everyone likes to go to the movies.
I'm going to skip over to Godless, is a new Netflix original that our buddy Bon was a part of. Were you a part of this as well?
No.
No, okay. We watched trailers for this. It looks very good.
Looks really good. Yeah.
November
Yep,
22nd.
looks
It from what it looks like, it is a woman-ran Western
town.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they're fighting off all the men that are trying to kind of overrun or something. It actually
Look
reminds
at
me a
that.
little
I'm
bit
just
of The
finishing
Walking
your
Dead.
sentences. Isn't
Thank
that
you.
cute?
I think I saw this movie on Cinemax years ago. Ended
Also on AMC. He's done. Welcome to No Man's Land. I think that is a great tagline.
Yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, Disney
Coco.
Coco.
Finishing your sandwiches over here.
It's so cute.
It's the celebration of a lifetime. November 22nd, this Wednesday. Big news regarding Coco. The highest grossing film of all time in Mexico now is Coco.
Cool.
Don't trust Dylan's stats on highest grossing
On
film
anything.
of all time. It's the 51st highest grossing film.
It's mine. I get it. Highest grossing film of all time in Mexico. That's saying a
it does
lot.
make sense. I watched a video, kind of behind the scenes thing where they talked about how they modeled a lot of the movie after particular places in Mexico, specifically Oaxaca, and so
They
I don't
do
know.
their
It looks
research.
cool. Yeah,
And
it looks
completely
really cool.
off of Guillermo del Toro's movie that looks exactly like this.
It's just kind of Day of
a
the
few years ago, right? What
something
was
of
it
the
called?
Dead.
Last year.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called. I didn't watch it. I want to, though. It looks beautiful. It looks a lot like Coco.
It's another Day
Yeah.
of the Dead movie.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're gonna rate these mothers.
I
Yes.
think
Do
they're
it.
all going to get an 85%.
All of them.
90%.
That's
what I
actually
think.
not a bad, because this is a
I
good.
think they're all
They're
across the
high
board going
caliber.
to get 90%.
I would say 90. Yeah.
By the end of by next Sunday, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with the 90.
Yeah.
For which one?
For all of
them.
them.
All of them?
All three.
Yeah.
I'd say Coco would be a little higher than 90.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I think the
by
darkest hour is going to get a little bit less.
87, 93. You know what? Godless. It's kind of
92.
tough to tell. Honestly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I'm gonna say like 80, 83.
I think it's gonna get higher than that.
It's going to get.
Should we go
I
one
think-
at a time? How are we doing
Yeah,
this?
let's do one at a time.
This is virgin territory.
Virgin
Yeah.
territory. Darkest
at a
hour,
time.
guys. What are we getting at?
Yeah.
What's that gonna get? High 80s?
84.
I'm gonna give it a 67.
Wow.
Jason.
Oh, well, you don't like makeup, so
I think it's
Jason,
gonna
but what
get
do you
panned.
think it's actually going to get, though?
67.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. If it's supposed to is it getting good reviews?
I do like his.
It'll probably get like
stance.
maybe like an
That's
80,
how Winston
It's like it's doing a
Churchill
dance.
is.
like an 85,
doing the Churchill dance.
or like a 78, somewhere like 78, no 80%.
87. Jessica.
All right. I mean, I'll go with closer to 87.
Yeah, I'm good with 80s, mid 80s.
He's good with it.
How about 85, Jason?
Fine.
85?
Will
Is
that
somebody
be-
calculating averages? Is this how we're working this
No,
game?
no.
No, we
85
have to agree.
potato stamp of approval.
Okay,
Or Yoda stamp.
Sealed.
Let's do Yoda
fine.
stamp.
85.
Yoda stamp.
Peeled.
85%.
Potato
85%.
peeled.
It's in
Tomato crushed.
All right. So yeah, I'm thinking 90s or like low 90s for Coco, maybe by the end of
93%.
You know what? Maybe
Wait,
mid. Maybe mid.
90.
No, you gotta let it
90
go.
maybe
93.
I'm
93.
thinking 93,
96?
No, I agree with 93.
94,
93?
93.
What do you?
69.
Damn it,
13,
98. I'm saying 97, but I'll meet you guys in the middle. 90, 95.
95.
95.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Jason.
I'm sticking to 93. I'm gonna be a stickler.
Just do
Fine,
93.
95.
95.
Damn it.
Yoda stamp of approval.
95
We need
Yoda.
Yoda in everyone now.
95 Yodas. Can you imagine 95 Yodas? That would be great. Okay, Godless.
Godless. Harder to tell. We saw one trailer, and that's all I know about it.
And it's a series.
Got
It's a
some big name
series.
actors in it. Looks.
Does
real
it? Are
good.
those big names?
I think Jeff Daniels.
middle names?
And I think
Medium names?
Dockery.
Dockery's pretty big now
Who's
after
O'Donnell?
Downton Abbey.
Which O'Donnell is this?
O'Connell. Jerry. Who? Yeah, which
Jack
O'Connell.
O'Connell.
Is that? I don't know him, but I think Jeff Daniels is pretty big.
O'Connell, okay.
82. 78.
I mean, I'm on that.
69.
I'm leaning more
Somewhere
towards
around
like
there.
Just low
89.
Yeah, I'd go low 80s actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just.
I'm gonna say high
I
70s,
haven't
low
heard any
80s.
hype about
85?
this, honestly.
Yeah.
85.
And it
Can we
might be a
agree?
runaway thing.
Could be great. It could be.
85.
Actually, I did see one article that said like this is the Western we were waiting for.
I think that we also I think culturally right now, like as a society, I think that it might be a big hit just because like Handmaid's Tale was a big hit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And women are taking over the world.
Westworld.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it's a movie about shooting men, and I think that's what we want to
Women wanna
do as
do.
a society.
Good
Yeah.
point. Good point.
So
Not
it'll
just
be
women.
like
It'll
be lady
cathartic.
pornography.
Just
Yeah.
aggressive.
You want to shoot us?
I'm not saying I'm saying everybody wants to do that. Not just I want to shoot men, like
Oh, okay.
certain
Well-
men.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'd take
Yeah, I'm
myself
sorry. I
out.
didn't mean to.
it's all a metaphor,
Put
right?
me on the
I didn't mean to
spot
put you on
because
the
I'm the only woman here, and that's what men do.
So
Okay.
it's such as the color circuit
Interesting.
way.
Interesting.
One woman
Anyway,
at any one time.
I was going to shame him for cutting you off, but whatever. I was trying to defend you.
sure you are.
84.
Okay.
Okay.
82. Fine, 84.
Yoda stamp of approval.
Okay.
84. God damn
Move
it,
on.
Jason. And the rest of the movies that we will not be rating this week
Do not want to do that next week.
are The Problem with Apu, a true TV mini documentary original.
Yeah.
I think it runs 45 minutes or so. It's actually much shorter than I thought it would be.
Okay.
But we've watched the trailer.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've the comedian that did this. I think he was on This American Life talking
Wait,
about
what's his
this.
name?
Hari Kondabolu,
Okay.
I believe.
It's Apu or something.
Right. But this is he's had like stand up bits about this for a while. Like this really affected him
Yes.
to the point where he got in touch with
Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria and told him like, hey, I loved The Simpsons, and that I hated Apu. Like it really got me down.
Yes.
that this was a part of my favorite show.
So I think it's a movie where he's interviewing a lot of Indian people,
Yeah.
Indian comics,
Right.
and it's all about the love for The Simpsons and the hatred of Apu, the character. Yeah, and it looks interesting.
Yeah,
it looks
I wanna see
really
it.
well
Yeah.
done. I'm excited for that. Hulu's original Runaways.
Which does not look good.
The trailer did not look good. It looked like a bad CW.
yeah.
Yep.
Just not
old,
Hulu now.
old CW
Yeah.
television. Although I hear new CW's doing much better, but Yeah. So we'll see. I'm excited. I do like Marvel stuff, and it looks X-Men-y. I think it's a part of that universe.
We could give them the benefit of the doubt, see what they do with it. It might just be a bunch of crap.
Yeah, we'll see how that turns out. And Call Me by Your Name. I don't know if this is an indie film, but it looks like one.
It looks very indie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that indie photography.
Got, like, 10 reviews that are like 5 stars.
But it has like a 95 or something, a 97, something very high.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Did we watch a trailer? I don't remember watching a trailer for that.
I don't think we have.
I watched it yesterday when I went to the movie.
Nice.
I went to, and I saw it. And it looked like a solid film.
Okay.
Cool.
What's it about?
It's about
growing up.
Sure, in a way. It's about like army. This is also getting some controversy because I don't know exactly what it's about, but it's like Army Hammer is this guy who comes to town, and he's like this, like late 20-something, like maybe like a 27-year-old like guy who's like very handsome, and then this young kid is a town kid, and like he has a girlfriend, and Army Hammer has a girlfriend, and then they kind of like, I think they figure out that they're gay, or they and it's at a time where that's not okay, and then they kind of develop their own
It's a new Brokeback
romance.
It's a lot like our relationship, Jason.
And he's like a 17-year-old kid.
Okay. And what time period are we talking? Like 80s? Or?
I think it's probably like 60s, 50s.
Oh,
okay.
So it's like Carol, but
yeah, sure,
for men.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong about a lot of that, but yeah. So it's getting
Very
a
cool.
controversy because it's about like this love affair.
What's
like
his
name? 27-year-old
Army Hammer.
Army
Hammer. Yeah.
What is that?
That is his name.
It's a hammer that you use
In the army.
employed.
That's how they built things in the army with
He's
an
really
army
hot.
hammer.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
He was in The Lone Ranger.
The Social Network.
Yeah.
He was in that
He
movie
was the
recently that
twins.
was really good
He was
with
the twins in
with
the
the guy
Social
who plays Superman. I liked that movie a lot. It was like a spy movie.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember it though.
Oh, Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah,
That was a good
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
I liked it.
it was a Guy Ritchie movie.
It was interesting. Yeah.
Oh, his first name's Army, his last name's Hammer.
Yeah. He's not the baking soda, Armin Hammer. Yeah.
Moving on.
Thanks for keeping us on track. You get the potato.
Hey, what are we watching?
I want to shame his name already. What do we watch? What are you watching? So this is a segment where
What are you watching?
what are we watching
What
this
are you
week? And we
watching?
all
What
kind
you
of
watching?
What are you doing?
It's a me.
It's a me
It's
watching
television.
stuff.
It's a me watching stuff.
I like it to watch the TV.
So who's first? I think I'm first on this one. I watched the season finale of Nathan For You, season 4. And it was a 2-hour special. And I'm going to assume also Kevin watched it. He's a huge Nathan For You fan. I as well. I think it may be the best comedy on television next to Impractical Jokers. Those are my 2 favorite comedies. And it's interesting too because they're both kind of candid.
Theory.
No. They're both kind of candid, camera-esque.
Yeah.
And so you're the only other person that I know that watched this.
Who be dat?
Who be dat? Ooh, that be Zach. All right, Zach.
Debbie Zach.
Be Zach.
Sup, Zach? We're live.
Yeah,
live.
Orion's in the back if you want to join him. So I thoroughly enjoyed the season finale.
Yeah.
Lots of praise for it.
It was tense to watch.
Yes. And it's so weird for a comedy. He knows how to find the drama in it. He knows how to find the intensity and the relationships. And it was all about this this impersonator, the guy on the left, this older man who is looking for his long lost love from high school.
He used him in a previous episode where they needed a Bill Gates impersonator to help this shop on Hollywood Boulevard or something. Was that it? Yeah.
Yes.
And they got back in touch, and he has this long lost love, and Nathan has these things at his disposal, this TV show where they have a research department and all this shit. It's like, let's use our powers to help you find this woman.
Yeah, and he says that almost verbatim to him in a meeting. And there's just so many goddamn gems. It is incredibly funny and incredibly like tense. And my favorite part being Nathan gets kind of bored in this city that they're in like buttfuck Minnesota or something.
Yeah.
And it's very small town, and Nathan like doesn't know what to do. Like he wants to help this guy, but the guy isn't always. He is also not like fully engaged, and so Nathan hires a what are they?
An escort.
An escort.
Yeah, she's
that's the word.
Straight up escort. Yeah.
He actually hires an escort to go on a date with him because the older man, because he thinks that the older man
Needs practice.
Yeah.
Going on a date because this is a woman he really cares for and loves, and so. But he's not into it. So Nathan, bored, calls up the escort and goes on multiple dates.
And it was to the point where I was watching them in the living room at 2 a.m. And Jessica's sleeping in the next room. And I, no joke, have a blanket over my mouth and I'm giggling so loud. I can't handle it because Nathan is making out with his escort, and he's so fucking awkward, and just his comedic timing, comedic everything.
I really like you. Like, well, I like you too. Really? Oh yeah, the kissing is.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it was, and I'm giggling so loud that Jessica yells, "Can you shut the door?" Like she's trying to sleep, and I can't stop but giggle. Please just
Find
watch
it
this.
somewhere and watch
loud
it. It's
laugh,
really good.
man.
I have a loud, but I was
Even when you're
that was me
giggling, it's
trying to
loud.
hold it in.
I
When she came
know.
out, it was like
It's like the Pillsbury Doughboy. God.
it was amazing. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna assume I'm not the only one.
Oh, it's very good. I mean, multiple different reasons to like this episode. It's funny. It's tense. It's kind of like a true crime. What's going to happen? Like a catfish vibe to
Yeah,
it. Like,
yeah.
and then like you find out more about this guy's story and how he was the reason they're not together. And watch it.
This is old like World War II handwritten letters that like Nathan's researching, like actual letters that he would send back. It was so good. Watch it. Good show. Who is watching what next this week?
I think this is me.
I think this is
okay. So HBO has a 2-part documentary right now called Rolling Stone Stories from the Edge, which it's kind of hokey. And I also after it's a 2-part documentary. After the first part, I find out Rolling Stone produced it, so it's kind of a fluff thing for them to be like, we're so effing cool. Look at this. It's just kind of a neat throwback. They revisit some of their big issues. Kind of where it started in San Francisco and what it was like back then. There's a lot of neat like Hunter S. Thompson
Started
footage.
in San Fran, huh?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
And then they moved to New York as publishing got bigger and everything. That kind of became a hub.
Do Franciscans like lose lip volume? 'Cause none of them have lips.
Those are the Rolling Stones.
They're the Rolling
That's the rock band. God damn it. They're British. They're not from San Francisco.
And yes, British people have no
So
lips.
Okay,
you
British
Googled Rolling Stone.
I did.
And you just...
I just threw a picture up. I told Orion, I was like,
To
I don't
be
think I
fair,
know what they look like.
The Rolling Stone has done plenty of stories on the Rolling Stones.
Sure. But
There's
it's
also a Bob Dylan song.
reference. Yeah, and they talk
It's
about the
also,
name in the documentary.
What I like to do for fun on a Sunday
Ooh,
afternoon.
rolling some stones. No moss.
Go out to the street.
Yeah. Anyway, it is. It is
Scott,
kind of.
I like the Rolling Stones. I think they're awesome.
Well, this isn't about them. Fuck. It's about the magazine Rolling Stone, and it's a. Is this a pity potato?
It's a pity potato.
I'll take it.
You gotta watch something better is what
it's
we're saying.
warm.
This is the money pit of documentaries.
All right. Yeah, it's just kind of cool because they highlight some of their big stories, like thing about Jimmy
When
Swaggart.
McJagger
Where they're talking about Bill Wyman about the smell on the bus. Ooh, you don't know who that is. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm watching. Fuck y'all.
Was it good? Did you actually like it?
It's okay. Yeah, I mean, again, it's cool to see like the footage of all the old throwback stuff, and they did cover some big moments in national history as well as music history.
They
like,
have good articles.
They had a big photo shoot with John Lennon, and then as they were putting together that issue, he got murdered. So they had like the first cover story post his death.
Wow.
It was kind of a big in like a 1980, I believe, when that happened. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's on HBO Go or now, whichever you have. So
Cool.
Yeah. Who's next?
This is me.
Ooh.
I saw the movie The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Was it as
And-
fun as you
It
sound?
was as
That
fun.
picture.
I'm talking like this.
Or that picture?
Look at that picture, man. I
So
want to see
sterile.
this.
It's very sterile.
These are all words that I thought while I was watching this movie.
Sterile.
It's an excellent film, excellent movie, great performances, really well made. Made by the same guy who made The Lobster last year. If anybody saw
I
that
liked
movie,
The
Oh,
Lobster.
I
It
heard
was
about
very
that.
weird, but I liked it.
this is
Yeah.
very weird. I haven't seen The Lobster, but I heard there was elements of humor in The Lobster.
Yeah.
I got a lot of praise, The Lobster.
There's no elements of humor in this movie. It's very dry,
Look at
very sterile, to a point. I mean, as like obviously like that's a choice that they're making. Incredibly unsettling in a way that like I left the theater feeling very strange.
Is that what you watched yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good, though. I feel like if a movie makes you feel some sort of emotion,
Yeah.
any emotion to an extreme,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
doing something.
No,
Yeah.
it's definitely it's
Effective.
well made and it's effective. It's a like a psychological horror thing. Yeah, just very weird because everything is so sterile, but you feel so gross after watching it.
I'm a big fan of
You know, I
his.
felt a
Colin
little that way
Farrell.
after watching The Lobster, so that makes sense.
And that's what I've heard about. So
Yeah.
it seems like he's like just his shots. Like sometimes you're like, why? Like what a weird shot. Like he'll like frame it so it's like you have this thing, and then like somebody's coming out of a door, and it's like in a normal frame, it would be the door would be in the center of the frame, or it'd be like, and he would walk across, but it would be like somebody in just like the tiny corner. You would see like somebody move.
So is it kind of unsettling?
Yeah,
the way
it's
you're
just
watching
so-
it?
What's his name?
Weird.
Yoga Latino? What is that?
Oh gosh, Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yoga Latino. The killing of a sacred deer by a Yoga
Lambkins.
Latino.
And Colin Farrell with his native Irish accent. He's always better with his Irish accent.
I
do
really
like him
like
with
him. I
his
feel like
accent.
I've
He's
heard-
really
He's a
good.
good actor.
Very
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
very
and there's a
good.
kid in this movie. There's a number of kids, but the main kid is like also really
hot.
no. Just with like
Potato?
Nope. I'm actually
Nope.
going to take it off the
Gross.
table.
He was so hot.
Don't,
he was
encour-
so hot.
don't encourage that behavior, Scott. Thanks.
yeah, the main kid
Appreciate
is
it.
also very like weird
Hot.
and no. All right. Anyway, that's it.
Anyway,
I highly
Jess, what
recommend
are
it.
you watching?
Go see it.
I'm watching Broad City.
Yeah.
I just started, and I'm already in season 2, but it's so funny. And there have been multiple times where I've been just like out of breath laughing so hard, and then I've cried, and yeah, it's just like I really like Broad City. I think it's really good.
I really
Oh,
like it. It's
I
a
like
good
Brad
show.
Pitt.
Ah.
It's so good.
I told you this when you were watching it. I've known you for 7 years now, unfortunately, and I've never ever seen you laugh so hard.
Yeah.
And you're a big fan of comedy television, and like Friends is your favorite comedy show, and you watch some others. But Broad City, though, I've like you like you said, you were just out of breath sometimes. And we talked about it for a while last night. It's so well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
and
good cast.
The cast is so
Is
good.
it still
They just
filming?
started their most recent season, so it's
Okay.
it's active. Yeah, 3 or 4. Yeah.
I think it's 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
to
it
watch.
premiered. They're probably done by now, but yeah, really solid show. Actually, a coworker got me into it, and I binged like 5 or 6 episodes. Like, geez, this is solid.
It's
really
so
good
solid,
show.
Yeah. You can really kind of go to any episode because
Mm-hmm.
I've been skipping around watching every other one or something
Yeah.
when Jessica's watching it.
Hannibal Buress is awesome in it.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Maybe my favorite character is, I don't remember his name.
That drug dealer.
Jaime?
Jaime the
Jaime,
drug
Show, his
yeah.
dealer.
name's Jaime. He's the
best
weed
lines.
dealer. Yeah.
And it's
So
a lot
funny.
of UCB people.
Yeah.
Upright Citizens Brigade, big improv community.
The boyfriend that the girlfriend's never in town.
Yeah, Bevers.
I've seen him at UCB before. He's,
Yeah.
he's
Jessica met
solid.
I met him. I took pictures
Oh,
of
very
him
cool.
with him in New York, and it was awesome. So
Was it the same show that we saw Hannibal Buress?
No, that was the
Was it a different night?
after. But yeah,
Buress?
Burrs?
I've heard
Burris.
Burris. Yeah, Hannibal
Burris.
Burris.
He's awesome.
All
I can't do it. This is the best laugh.
Moving on.
All right, yeah, moving on because we gotta kind of speed things up and
Uh-huh.
run through these trailers. We're running low on time. Last week's required viewing. You want to take it away?
The animation show of shows. We watched the animation show of shows.
19th annual.
19th annual, 16 short animated films.
Can I do that?
What
Can I
did you
take it away
think?
from
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's
He
a
needs one of those like
I thought it was excellent. I was very impressed. I think this was my favorite lineup. I've seen it now 3 times, and so far I think this was my favorite lineup of films. I really, my favorite was the stop motion Swedish musical. That was
fucking weird.
I didn't know that was something I wanted, but it was
I don't think anybody did.
beautiful.
Remind me again
Beautiful.
which that one was.
It was the one with like it's the town.
fish.
And the
Oh
fish.
yeah.
So good.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
16 short animated films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very hard to choose from. There's a lot of good ones, and also a lot of ones that I don't need to watch ever again.
Sure.
There was
Dylan
one.
fell asleep. At
During,
really?
During
the hangman.
The hangman.
Okay.
Yeah, just the
well,
hangman.
and that was an interesting take because I guess it was a restored thing that they showed in the '60s,
sucked.
but it got
It didn't
better.
suck. It was just boring
Well,
to you.
I got the point of it like as it went because
Right.
it was that fable or poem about when these people were persecuted, I didn't do anything because they weren't me. These people were persecuted. I didn't do anything about it because it wasn't me. And then when I was persecuted, there was nobody to speak for me because everyone else was gone.
Right.
Yeah.
That sort of, and it was like the animation style was really interesting.
Yeah.
because it was like it wasn't fluid at all. I mean, it was like.
So it's like the
it
bystander
was just a
effect,
picture.
right?
Yeah, and it
Kind
would
of.
move like slowly.
It was a panning
like,
picture.
Yeah,
It was not. It was not. It's not really animated, honestly.
So some of it there was like disappearing, like the hangman's face would kind of change. Very subtle.
I liked it.
I like the just because I like the kind of the lighthearted stuff. The Andrew Doctor one. It was like the neighbors. So there was like
Yes.
the square guy. He
Yeah.
comes home and he slumps in his chair.
And then there's the little girl. Like
the
that.
circle girls like running around and yeah, just like the whimsical sort of stuff like that.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the? I'm blanking on the basketball player,
Oh,
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
It was
thought-
actually not
I
good.
thought it was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
liked
it was a little bit self-aggrandizing, but it's
Yeah,
fine.
I was thinking about the two different ways you could see it. Is that I mean, it was his production company that put it on, and
Right.
it makes him look like this, saint of basketball. But it was
Right.
also
I mean,
I
Kobe
think-
Bryant certainly was
He was a very influential figure in basketball.
he was like
Sure,
the
yeah,
main
yeah.
basketball,
I mean,
the
he's up
king of
there.
basketball for 10 years at least, and probably and beyond. And like as somebody, I'm a basketball fan. I've always hated the Lakers, and we had to play them because I'm a Suns fan. We had to play the Lakers, and it's like there are things like Kobe Bryant could do that were just like, and he always was so meticulous about like the way that he prepared, and he was just driven in a way that was like
Yeah.
frustrating if you had to play against him.
He's like a
And it was
basketball
fun. Yeah.
prodigy. I think we could call him that.
And that
safely.
was based off of a so there's a magazine that's called the Players Tribune that is or it's an online magazine, and it's all stories written by like players or from their perspective, so to give the players like a voice, because so often it's sports writers
or their managers or the
people that know that
owners
you
of
have it.
teams. Yeah.
yeah. And so so that was something he wrote for the Players Tribune when he decided that this would be his last year playing
Yeah.
for the Lakers.
Oh,
Okay.
this was it.
Yeah.
That
was the story that he read.
There's a famous Bruce Lee quote: "If I tell you I'm good, you'll think I'm boastful. If I tell you I'm bad, you'll know I'm lying." I feel like that kind of applies here with Kobe Bryant. Honestly, I did not think it was self-aggrandizing. I feel like it was a love letter to something that he knows very, very well. And what better thing to write than something that you know well, right? It was. I thought it was sweet. It was nice. It wasn't super long. Animation was really cool.
Oh, it was a neat.
I love
yeah,
this idea
well
of
done.
the circular. He started as a kid, as an adult, and he's a kid again at the end. It was done.
I thought it was
well
well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just have kind of like a bad taste in my mouth about Kobe
Yeah,
ever since his allegations came out
Sure.
a while ago.
But man, he loves basketball.
But
Let's
he
just
is
focus on that.
He is a damn good basketball
That's
player,
right.
though. I will say that. And yeah,
My favorite may have been what was it? It was not unfruitful, but the things that were. It was like things got very close to being done. but they didn't actually. God, I'm not
Oh,
explaining.
the
this.
unsatisfying.
Thank you. It was
Oh,
called
yeah.
Unsatisfying.
I saw that like shared on Facebook one day.
It was like
Yeah.
30 seconds long, and
I
it
liked
was
that one.
the whole theater was in stitches.
It was great. Yeah.
Because it was so good and short and sweet, and yeah, like a basketball running around the rim. And they thought of a lot of really cool ones.
Yeah,
None of which I remember.
and it was a great mix of like thoughtful, light. There was some that were very abstract. There was one that I guess I didn't pay attention. I kind of lost me, and then all of a sudden we were in like another short, and be like, "Oh, I guess that one ended." Oh, okay, shit. But no, yeah, and I liked how the last one was a video game.
Yeah, the
that you
Alan
can-
Watts.
you can play
Yeah.
on PlayStation,
Really?
everything, and like the point of the game is collecting bits of that speech.
Okay.
So like there's no like, that's the only part of the game because all you do is like you start out as an animal, then you become a plant, then you can become a star. I mean, you can become everything, literally.
Yeah.
And you like it was kind of cool to hear that whole speech.
It was really good. Do you have
Yeah.
a favorite?
I think my favorite, I don't know what it was called. It was the one about the guy who like thought he was clairvoyant, and he would like
Oh, and he loses his
Oh,
wife, and then he
yeah.
finds
Al
out.
or whatever that was.
Yeah.
You're right. That is
Yeah.
my favorite. I changed mine.
that was my favorite. I really liked that one. Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
All right. Next week's required viewing is from Jessica.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Never
watch
seen
Toys.
I haven't either.
Has anybody seen this?
No.
No? It's just a fun movie. Like, it's just weird. It's very weird. I have to tell you guys. It's just be prepared. It's strange, but I really like it.
I remember the trailer that they would show in commercials. It was just Robin Williams in grass, and he was just like, "Go see Toys," and then I was like, "Okay, what the fuck is this?" So yeah, I know there was like a Nintendo tie-in video game to this.
What?
Yeah. So I have no idea. Yeah, I'm interested.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm
Robin
excited.
Williams is like one of my favorite actors, if not my favorite. And yeah, this is just
Not
a very.
Michael Caine?
Michael
I don't know. I
Caine.
really like Michael Caine, but I like Robin
Terrible
Williams.
Michael
I think
Caine
more.
impression.
Yeah,
Caine.
you made him sound retarded for some
Not
reason.
Michael Caine.
Not Michael Caine?
Yeah.
Pip pip, the Queen. I'm Michael Caine.
I'm Michael Caine.
I'm a British actor. I am.
I'm
Holy shit,
known
that
for
was
my
good.
English accents. It just wasn't very
You're
good
known
this
for
time.
your terrible accents. That's true.
You
So,
are
yeah,
known.
I can do
Toys.
Apu.
Everybody watch Toys, and it is on Netflix, I believe.
Cool.
So it's either on Netflix or Hulu, and so you guys can catch it there.
I'm excited. Watch it next week.
Awesome.
Or by next week. All right, question of the week comes from our producer, Mr. Orion Kamiki. I think he has some friends back there, but I don't know that they'll be
Crowded
in
house.
frame. But anyways, how you doing, Orion?
How am I doing?
Yes.
How are you
Oh,
doing?
doing
unmute your
great.
real tech just in case you had it.
Yeah, I just did that. I'm smart, okay? I'm a good producer.
Sassy
Nobody was
today.
saying
You think really low of me.
Hey, I like your shirt.
Hey. Oh, wait. There we go. Mm-hmm.
Let me know when you're ready.
What
there,
it is.
Ryan.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Call back to the beginning of the show. What Lord of the Rings character would you choose to be?
Oh God, I don't know any of their names.
Thorin. I don't. He's one of the dwarves.
Why would you ever pick a character from The Hobbit?
I don't know. They're all the. I don't know.
I do not want to be any of the hobbits because they've got the crappiest journey.
Yeah.
It's just miserable for
Can't be
them.
fun.
Gandalf would be fun.
Yeah, he's the best one probably.
Yeah.
I think I'd,
The
but I'm
gray or the white?
I'm gonna take it back. I think I'm pretty lazy, so I'm gonna be one of those like lazy like Rivendell, or what was it, Rivendell elves
The elves. Yeah.
that just are like I'm gonna be whatever that
I'm gonna
elf
eat
is. That's
grapes
like
and
yeah.
live in a beautiful kingdom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna-
Sexy
Be
and
beautiful.
just.
Live
Yeah.
forever.
I'm gonna be like Galadriel or
Yeah.
whatever. That's who
I'm gonna be
Galadriel.
the Kate Blanchett's character. I always forget.
That's who Galadriel.
Galadriel.
Galadriel. Yeah, I'm gonna be her too.
You all know who I would be.
You're going to
Legolas?
be.
I would
my
be
goodness.
the guy that rides the sled with the bunnies that Gandalf sends to send some sort of message to
That's
somebody.
in The Hobbit.
That's my character.
I do like that guy, but yeah. Or Liv Tyler's character, because she's also cool elf. Elf
Gollum.
lady.
You'd be you are the Gollum of Color Circuit.
Oh yeah.
Arwen.
I have a lot of in common.
Arwen or Galadriel?
You're slimy and
Yeah, I wear a loincloth that needs to be washed all the time.
I do like me some Samwise though. I don't know, even though he has a
Mr.
tough time.
Frodo.
Do you have an answer? Do you know who you would be, Mr. Orion?
I would be Pippin because he fits my personality already. Stupid, gullible,
Pippin.
misadventure.
Here's your potato.
Yep, you get the
Ooh,
potato.
I can eat tonight.
Honorary potato.
When he finds out it's not a real potato.
Cool. Good question. We're going to
Yeah,
move quickly
thanks.
through this next one because we need to get to trailers because we have a meeting soon and
Cool.
we're running late on time.
Bam.
All right, so this week we decided to do the last animated show standing. Jessica chose most of these. I switched out one of them. But you want to run down through that list for us?
Sure, and actually I chose them because they were like the top on the list of top animated shows. I don't know what list it was from, but yeah, a lot of different lists.
Yeah.
So, am I eliminating the first one?
No, why don't you just name them all first?
Oh, okay. So there's Rick and Morty, The Simpsons, Doug, South Park, Archer, and Adventure Time.
Very cool. I realized in the shower this morning that I have been the last one. I don't remember when, but I have
Okay.
chosen the last one. I feel like you're the only one that hasn't.
I don't know that I have,
Okay.
but I don't remember.
Okay. Well, which one of you two want to go last?
Scott, go
I'll go
All right.
last. Sure.
Okay, Orion, why don't you eliminate one of them for us first, if that's okay. Sorry to throw you in there very quickly, but
I'm here.
we need a fifth.
Yep.
I'm realizing.
You want me to eliminate the first one?
Eliminate the first one.
You're gonna hate me.
Yes.
Oh man.
Do it.
Rick and Morty.
Get rid of it.
Wow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Rick. And
Bye, Rick and
Morty.
Morty.
Have you seen Rick and
Damn.
Morty?
I saw the first season and the second season.
All right. Moving
the
on.
second season.
Who's going
Bye.
next?
I'll go next. I'm gonna. Sorry, Jessica. I'm gonna eliminate Doug.
No.
I just
Yeah,
don't
get rid of
remember
Doug.
it. It's pretty. I don't remember it being that exciting either, and it didn't stick into the zeitgeist like
I'm
the
sorry.
Simpsons
I
did or
just
South
I have a
Park.
nostalgia factor for it. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Why don't you go next?
I'm going to eliminate Archer.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So we got Simpsons, South Park, and Adventure Time
Mm,
Okay.
coming up next. I think I see where this is
Jessica?
Sorry, Scott. South Park.
going. Okay.
Wait, you can't say sorry about that because his favorite show, one of his favorite shows of all time, is still on that
Yeah,
list.
yeah.
Okay, good.
So yeah, this is kind of no-brainer for me. I'll get rid of Adventure Time
Yes.
because none of these can hold a candle to
Really?
the effect The Simpsons has had on television,
Mm-hmm.
animation, my sense of humor,
Yeah.
which is very important to
Yeah.
me.
Conan O'Brien,
Yeah, a lot of careers like yeah. I mean,
Rick and Morty is like the characters are drawn based off of The Simpsons.
and I think every one of the creators of any animation show worth its salt would, tip its hat to The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
I agree with that.
I love The Simpsons. They're so good.
Even I don't care how many more seasons they do. I haven't watched them, but their first 10 years for any show would be solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adventure Time is also really good.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
Still haven't seen
but
it.
Adventure
I
Time's
need to-
really good.
I want to.
The fact that it's for
Love it.
kids, but the sense of humor is really sharp. Yeah.
Sweet.
Awesome. Moving on.
Moving on.
All
Our
right.
last segment of the
Get
day
rid
is
of-
trailers. We have 6. I can't remember. 6 or 7. They're all relatively short, but they are all very big and very good. So what is
good.
it? Oh, Orion was eliminating there, but we we didn't give him any time to eliminate. So the idea here is that we watch, rent, or skip, or what else do we do instead of that?
Wait.
Wait. So watch,
Nobody runs
wait,
things anymore.
Nobody rents. We wait.
or skip. And so let's go straight into our first trailer. It is a teaser trailer for The Incredibles, number 2.
Yay.
Oh my god. Cute.
That's awesome.
Simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch.
Definitely
Watch.
seeing this. Yeah.
Yeah. Scott's
Definitely watch
favorite.
it.
Can't
It's
wait.
So
Can't
cute.
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
That baby is.
It's gonna be
so
terrible.
cute. Oh my
Hot
God.
take. You heard it here first. Worst
That
movie
baby is
of
that
the
baby
year.
is cuter than human babies.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I prefer him over human baby.
Black
so do I.
Panther official international trailer.
Oh my gosh, how many Black Panther trailers do we have to watch?
I think this
A
is our
lot.
third.
And now it's just the official international.
I'm sorry, hot
Glasses
take.
are still on.
Gods fly. I've seen men build weapons that I couldn't even imagine. I've seen aliens drop from the sky.
Yeah.
But I have never seen anything like this. How much more are you hiding?
Hold up. Let's go.
Wakanda. Explorers have searched for it for centuries. The Golden City. It's a technological marvel.
We are home. You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be.
Show me my respect and bow down.
My
Without the
son,
vocals in
it
the
is
song.
your time.
I have great things to show you. It is lighter and completely bulletproof.
Don't freeze.
I never freeze.
The revolution will not be televised.
Show me my respect and bow down.
I waited my entire life for this. This time, we're gonna be on top.
If the world found out what we possess, we could lose our way of life. What do you want?
I want the throne.
What happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
I'm sold on Michael B. Jordan. That's true.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. The revolution will not be televised.
Let's have some fun.
Two Tolkien white guys.
Tolkien.
The revolution will be live.
God, it sounds cooler.
Yeah, I want to say it in
French.
that language, whatever
The
that
last
language
trailer
is.
I watched was just like an extended, like car chase scene. And I
This
was
looks a lot like the last trailer, though. Well, it ended
Yeah.
the same way. Watch, definitely.
Definitely watch, yeah.
Also, if you get a chance, read the article. What's the actor's name that's playing the main character?
Oh god.
Anyways, he wrote a really,
forget his
really, he
name.
had a really good. He didn't write an article. I'm sorry. He was interviewed, and he talks about why he chose that accent and stuck with that accent. And so, give that a read.
And we don't have to wait too long for this movie. It's coming out in like
February, I
Yeah,
believe.
it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Quiet Place. Watch a little bit of this. It looks fun.
Burley John Krasinski.
His actual wife in real life.
Burley
really?
Emily Blunt.
Good for him, right?
Yeah.
That's the Pam to his Jim. What the hell is that?
Like a monster scratch.
Thanks, Jason.
They went upstairs to bed.
Can't hear
Monster
you.
scratch.
What?
I get it. Jesus.
It's always the a little boy.
Cherub-faced child.
Why is he telling him to be quiet? How did they hear that? Wait, are they mute or are they deaf?
No, they're just being quiet.
Yeah,
either
it's like
one.
they had to
They
adapt
have
to
to
be
be
quiet
quiet.
because if they
Oh,
make sound.
I'm an
This thing
idiot.
gets them.
Got it. Oh yeah, that's a good trailer.
This is
Oh
interesting.
fuck yeah, that looks so good.
What is this? This reminds me of another movie, like to a T.
10 Cloverfield?
No.
Reminds me a little bit of 10 Cloverfield.
It reminds me of.
It's one movie I want to 100% see, and I feel like everyone should see it.
Yep.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Great.
Watch.
It reminds me of M. Night Shyamalan's The Village. Is that what it's called?
Oh, it's like, yeah, sort of.
It has the same premise. At least in the
Sort of
commercial it does.
village-esque, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's skip the road movie just because we're short on time.
The road movie.
But watch it
in your own time.
in
We're
your
gonna
own
watch
time.
Rampage.
Rampage, the official trailer,
Oh my
number
gosh.
1.
For an 80s video.
This is the one and only Rampage trailer we're
You like
watching.
hanging out with animals more than people.
Next week
Better
we're
not
watching
see
the
it next
international
week.
trailer,
Number 2.
then teaser trailer number 4.
I rescued George when he was 2 years old. George never would have survived on his own.
He definitely trusts you.
George from the jungle.
Last night,
It's a fun video
George was
game,
7 feet
sure.
and weighed 500 pounds.
I think it's time.
George, you okay, buddy?
Time for it to be
You're scared.
movie is over.
It's okay. This morning, he's 9 feet, pushing 1,000. What's happening to my friend?
Are you familiar with genetic editing? Changes will be incredibly unpredictable.
Is he the only
Editing
one?
just got banned in.
Oh, you didn't know about the 30-foot
Olympics
wolf?
recently.
Hell of a day, huh?
San Andreas.
Vegan.
Experiments falling from the sky.
Having George on that plane is a big mistake.
I think we'll be all right.
Mighty George Young. Typecasting.
Let's go save the world. It's coming back to me.
That might be the only.
I'll watch this movie.
You have to evacuate Chicago.
I'm hearing that more ready
George
song
didn't ask
from,
for this. They're gonna put him
Pacific
down.
Rim.
That's not happening.
This is Pacific Rim. This might be the first good live-action video game movie.
There's something in
The lizard? There it is.
I was just thinking the only thing that's missing right now is a giant crocodile.
They just stole the effects from Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Threw it in here.
Cut and paste.
Skip.
I'm gonna watch that all day.
Big fat.
All the live long.
He's gonna watch
day.
it as Hot Take Jason, not Jason.
I'm just calling it here, folks. Rampage. Oscar winner. Best picture, best writing, best acting,
best genetic
best
editing.
supporting acting, best genetic editing. 2019.
Can we watch Deadpool last, actually? Let's watch Star Wars. Yet another trailer.
God,
I
no.
kind of don't want to see any more
Come
Star
on,
Wars.
this
You
is
guys
like
don't
the
have to
8th
watch. Look away.
trailer.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, we need to stop.
You've seen this
Doubling
place.
up on like a lot of trailers, and they make like change one trailer.
I'm in
No, there's
dreams.
actually a lot of
Who are you?
Something inside me is awake.
What do you see?
Light,
Is that Yoda?
darkness.
This is not going to go the way you think.
Kylo failed you. I won't.
Han Solo's back.
You have to fight. Fulfill your destiny.
Something
General
inside me has
Palpatine.
always been there. But now it's awake. And I need help.
R2-D2 has a girlfriend.
Darkness rises and light to meet it. I was raised to fight. For the first time, I had something to fight for. May the Force be with you. On December 15th.
That's got a kick!
Permission to jump in our next wing and blow something up?
Permission granted.
Let the past die. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be. Darkness rises and light to meet it.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Come on!
Just saw.
This is not going to go the way you think.
It's like three trailers in one trailer. Yeah, please mute that. Thank you.
I knew that was the end of the trailer.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, they threw that funk music into the trailer.
Like, damn,
For some
Lando's
reason,
back.
Yeah, I feel like it's. Oh shit! I feel like for some reason that's not an official trailer, but I could be wrong.
It has 500,000 views. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I did hear that there was like new TV spots and international trailers, and I'm just like losing track now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are going to see it.
just wait and see the movie.
was
It's coming out
superfluous.
real
So the next
soon,
trailer
guys.
is half the movie, so we'll be watching that next week.
Less than a month away.
The last half of the movie.
Less than a month away.
And lastly, the new Deadpool Wet on Wet teaser. This is awesome.
Hello there. Welcome back. I'm glad you could join me today. Let's just dive right in and run all the colors across the screen that you'll need to paint along with me. I have my regular old canvas here, wet and ready to go. Now, let's grab our trusty 2-inch brush here. Whack that off real good. Just beat it like it owes you money. We're gonna get a little dab of our yellow snow here. We're gonna mix that with just another little dab of our Betty White. Now, let's just dance in a happy little sky. Now remember, this is your world. You get to make and break the rules here. Sweet baby Jesus. Wish I could jump in there and roll around in all that cascading white powder. Yeah, just get high in all of life's splendor. God, I love cocaine. So much. Holy fuck knuckles, I am high as a kite right now. Okay, let's paint in a few little happy trees there. Nothing wrong with making friends with trees. Now, what you don't want to do is eat these paints. Trust me on this one. All right, I'm gonna whack off again. That's right. That feels good.
The close-up.
Would you look at that? It seems like we have ourselves a finished painting. So from our family to yours, keep your pants dry, your dreams wet, and remember, hugs not drugs.
First off, his voice is just amazing.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And their marketing campaigns are some of the best marketing campaigns that have ever been done for
the
film.
first Deadpool,
honestly,
I was like, I've heard this commercial a million times, and it's still funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watch for sure.
Such a good
I'm gonna whack off again.
And the names of the paints, very good.
Watch, obviously.
Yeah,
watch. I think that's pretty unanimous. So that is it for Screen Stars. But before we say goodbye, Jason here is the winner of Hot Potato today. I have a feeling that this is going to be mostly a Jason Scott Hot Potato matchup because if there were potatoes to take away from me, they would all be gone.
I want to thank Dylan for just saying so many offensive and terrible things. Dylan, thank you. I want to thank my other Screen Source host, Jessica. You're always so wise, and you've got such delightful insights. Scott, you are just a joy to sit next to. Kevin, I want to thank you the most because if you were here today, I would not be the winner because you would probably be. So to you, Kevin Bransford.
I deserve that fucking potato.
I've been hot taked.
Bye-bye.
Sundays at 3 p.m. MST.